Welcome back to Writing for Beginners. Now, one of the things that may seem like it doesn't fit, but is fiction within a memoir. So, a memoir is about events that have occurred, things that you have done, the way you have either achieved or the way you have learnt and grown. But of course, many of these things can have happened many, many years ago, and or even a few years ago, and you don't have a clear memory of some of the events around the core trauma or the core matter. So you need to sometimes fictionalize some of those things. And by that, I mean, maybe some of the conversation, for example, that you would have had at that time. You obviously can't remember it word for word if you can't. So therefore, you need to think about what age you were, what the circumstances were, and then make the fiction conversation fit. So you write the dialogue to fit that session. It doesn't matter that you can't remember exactly, as long as you're true to the course of the book. The same with some smaller events that may have been around the major trauma that happened. Something may have happened that you saw and did that pushed you in a certain direction, but you can only vaguely remember what that was. Then think about it from the point of view of the age that you were at that time and try and make that work for you then, whether it be dialogue, whether it be events, and how you saw them in that person's age when that happened. Now, that, of course, doesn't mean that your whole book is fiction. It just means that some areas where you can't remember clearly, you do have to sometimes interpret what it would have been like or how it would have felt, because you can't remember exactly. But one thing I will say to you is that as you do that, as you go through the process of writing your book, some of those smaller events will start to become clearer. You will write down what you thought, and then you will start to remember, oh no, hang on, this is how it happened. Or no, there was a red car there. It wasn't that. So those sorts of things come through at times when you're not thinking about writing, or when you're just sitting around, or even maybe when you're in bed. So those things, in other words, you will generate the things that you are trying to work on back into your mind. The most important thing, though, of course, is always that you keep writing and don't worry about it too much and just add where you need to. Happy writing.